I'm Professor Jenna Hartel. Welcome to Information Science. Information as Thing is one of the most celebrated articles in the information science literature. Members of the ASIST board named Information as Thing the best paper to appear in the Journal of the Association for Information Science since its founding in 1950. It has more than 10,000 citations in Web of Science, though its popularity may be waning as scholars come to favor more socially and culturally sensitive conceptions of information. Yet, on account of its memorable title and its accessible multi-type definition for information, Information as Thing remains a persistent publication and idea.
Information as Thing.
This paper is almost universally assigned to students in their early formative days of joining the field. The 10th episode of my What Makes This Paper Great series features Information as Thing and explores its origins, construction, highlights, problems, and what makes this paper great. First, let's situate Information as Thing in the information science literature. It is one of countless attempts by theorists to define our field's central concept, information. Marcia Bates's comprehensive review identifies 7 different approaches taken to define information over the decades. Information as Thing is a multi-type information definition, and there are other good examples of the kind. Versig saw information as derived from 3 sources: generated internally by mental effort, acquired by sheer perception of phenomena, and through communication. Dervin named Information 1 as external reality, Information 2 as an internal reality, and Information 3 as the procedures used to reconcile these 2 worlds. Bates's own conception recognizes genetic, neurocultural, and exosomatic information, which each break out into additional forms. The point is that many theorists have found information to be complex and manifold, resulting in definitions based upon types. Information as Thing is one and the best known example. Now, let's consider the paper's author and its research method. Michael K. Buckland was born in the United Kingdom, worked at Oxford's Bodleian Library, and obtained a PhD from the University of Sheffield. Buckland's career mainly unfolded in the U.S. as a high-ranking academic librarian and as a researcher, educator, and ultimately dean at the University of California's Berkeley's School of Information. He is prolific and has written and published many books and articles about libraries and their information systems. Professor Buckland is considered one of information science's foremost historians, a matter that colors the paper. Information as Thing is an example of conceptual analysis, one of the traditional methods of philosophy. It is a method that relies upon the author's reading, thinking, and argumentation. In the spirit of conceptual analysis, Buckland reviews conceptions of information already in the information science literature, repurposes definitions for information found within the Oxford English Dictionary, consolidates concepts in a simple summarizing table, poses and then answers questions, delineates descriptive lists, provides historical accounts, and offers illustrations and accessible examples. Let's descend into Information as Thing now. At 10 pages, it's not a long paper. The introduction notes the ambiguity of information and aims to clear up the confusion. With some inventive wordsmithing and language drawn verbatim from the Oxford English Dictionary, Buckland proposes a threefold conception. Information as process is the act of being informed, as when being told something or learning. Information as process has dynamic and human qualities. Information as knowledge refers to that which one is apprised or told. It is what one learned. Information as knowledge has personal, subjective qualities and exists in the mind. Information as Thing are objects attributed as being informative and imparting knowledge. Information as Thing has a material quality. Statistical data, textbooks, encyclopedias, statutes, photographs, and museum artifacts are provided as examples. Buckland protests that information theorists of his day have been overly dismissive of information as thing. He argues that it deserves more attention because it is the only type of information that can be collected in libraries and information systems. He consolidates these new concepts in a table that distinguishes intangible from tangible modalities of information and processes versus entities. The table gives rise to a fourth phenomenon, that is, information processing, the dynamic but not human manipulation of information. Today, we might call this artificial intelligence. In a subsequent section, Buckland adds that information as thing is synonymous to evidence. I believe part of this paper's success is that its big idea appears within the first 2 pages. The next section expand upon the different manifestations of information as thing. Buckland refers to these as types or species of information as thing. There are data, the plural form of the Latin datum, and described in common parlance as whatever records are stored in a computer. Texts and documents, which are the contents of archives, libraries, and offices, both paper and electronic versions. He extends documents to include images and sound. Another form of information as thing are objects, since we often learn from the material world around us. Buckland uses trees and fossils as examples of informative objects important to science. People and historic buildings are examples of information objects as well. A fourth major type of information as thing are events. Buckland admits that his third and fourth species of information as thing, objects and events, lie beyond most existing definitions of information. The section on types of information as thing ends with Buckland's almost apologetic words.
This leads us to an unhelpful conclusion. If anything is, or might be informative, then everything is, or might well be, information. In which case calling something information does little or nothing to define it. If everything is information, then being information is nothing special.
This part of the paper contains an extended historical interlude. As an historian of information science, Buckland brings one species of information as thing, documents, to life. He describes the European documentation movement that occurred more than 100 years ago and aligns his vision of information as thing with its 2 luminaries. Belgian bibliographer, lawyer, and peace activist Paul Otlet and French special librarian Suzanne Briet both endorsed expansive definitions of document. Famously, Suzanne Briet, addressing whether objects in the world are documents, argued that
An antelope in the wild is not a document, but an antelope in a zoo is a document because of its potential and purpose to index and inform.
historical perspectives on information were uncommon in the theoretical literature about information at this time. Faced with the problem that almost anything can be informative, and hence a species of information as thing, Buckland offers some additional qualifications. First, that information as thing is situational, he writes.
We may say of some object or document that in such and such a combination of circumstances, in such and such a situation, it would be informative, it would be information, i.e. information as thing.
Second, assessments of situational importance are made by consensus. There must be agreement among people. In the next section of the paper, Buckland links information as thing to certain realities of information institutions, collections, and systems. That is, information as thing may be a unique original or a copy. Such distinctions matter to both creators and users of libraries, archives, and museums. Further, information as thing may be an interpretation or a summary. Buckland calls these offsprings representations and delineates 6 insights into their nature, including that representations are easier ways to store some forms of information as thing, especially objects and events, in an information system. Relating information as thing to situations, consensus, copies, and representations eases the new concept from theory to practice. Nearing the conclusion of the paper, Buckland steps back to impart how the idea of information as thing brings greater precision to the topography of information science. Within our sprawling field, specialties that focus exclusively on information as thing can now be pinpointed. The information theory of Shannon and Weaver and historical bibliography that concerns itself with books as physical objects are examples. Information as thing ends with a summary. To review and consolidate our understanding of the paper, let's hear it verbatim.
Numerous definitions have been proposed for information. One important use of information is to denote knowledge imparted, another is to denote the process of informing. Some leading theorists have dismissed attributive uses of information to refer to things that are informative. However, information as thing deserves careful examination, partly because it is the only form of information with which information systems can deal directly. People are informed not only by intentional communications, but by a wide variety of objects and events. Being informative is situational, and it would be rash to state of anything that it might not be informative, hence information, in some conceivable situation. Varieties of information as thing vary in their physical characteristics and so are not equally suited for storage and retrieval. However, there is considerable scope for using representations instead.
Before saying what makes this paper great, I will respectfully register a few problems, and I'll report on one published criticism. Buckland's novel terminology is not used consistently. Information as thing without hyphens, information as thing with hyphens, and information appears often alone when Buckland is referring to information as thing. Such imprecision seems antithetical to a conceptual analysis which aims in part at demystifying terminology. Information as thing and its four species are not convincingly distinguished. Soon after declaring the categories, Buckland writes,
"It is wise not to assume any firm distinction between data, document, and text.
Objects and events are likewise nebulous phenomena, constituting anything and everything in the universe. Ultimately, a reader struggles to discern boundaries of the central concept and the determining characteristics of its progeny." In a letter to the journal soon after the paper's publication, Dr. A. Neil Yerke protests that centering information science on things is not ideal for a field that needs to keep its attention, concepts, and measures on people. Despite these problems, here's what makes this paper great and one of the most popular papers in information science. Within 10 pages, Information as Thing introduces many of the central concepts of information science. It posited a widely resonant, multi-type conception of information that is inherently spacious and relatively welcoming. It has paved the way for diverse conceptions of information that today includes embodied and even spiritual information. Buckland inserts a new historical dimension into the conversation about information, stirring curiosity about other histories of information. Situation and consensus as qualifiers of information as thing impart important social, cultural, and critical dimensions to information. The concept of consensus hints at information's political dimensions, foreshadowing important ideas today like critical information science and epistemic justice. Michael Buckland is a dedicated thinker about the foundations of information science. His 2017 book, Information in Society, revisits many of the themes from Information as Thing.
Information as Thing.
And contains striking block quotations. It won ASIS's Best Information Science Book Award in 2018. Thanks for watching this episode of What Makes This Paper Great. Please comment, like, and share this video. And subscribe to INFIDEOS to learn more about information science.